Manchester United have ended pre-season with a 1-1 draw against Spanish opposition Athletic-Bilbao, and it was a very rotated side for Manchester United today, considering what we watched yesterday in terms of almost what we would consider a starting lineup for Manchester United going forward for that Wolves game, the first game next, is it Monday? You would expect that would be a second team, sort of maybe a League Cup sort of side, maybe a little bit weaker than a League Cup side, probably. And I was expecting pretty much what Manchester United got out of that game, and I was pretty pleased that Manchester United managed to draw this game. To be honest, I wasn't expecting too much against this opposition. I'm not too sure how many of their first team players were rotated or that, because I don't know too much. I don't watch a lot of Spanish football, to be honest, anymore. I'm not really interested much in a number of them Spanish sides, so I don't really know what their normal starting lineup is. But Manchester United have heavily rotated and gone behind in that first half. I mean, there is still a number of players in that fringe lineup that could, though, feature for Manchester United this season. The likes of Christian Eriksen, I mean, Van der Beek will probably be on his way. Jadon Sancho will probably be kept around because no one's going to fucking pay big fucking money for him. So the likes of them, we've got Wan-Bissaka's going to be here, Lindelof. So there are players that are going to still be here this season, and they'll be called upon at times, and they've got to be performing. So that was a good thing to get them a run out. In previous seasons, I did think that we probably needed to get a more settled starting lineup earlier going forward for this, but obviously he's wanted to give a lot of players minutes on this tour, whereas in previous times we haven't done that so much. We've gone with a more stronger, the first couple of games we've given players like 45 minutes or something, and then we've gone strong and pretty much put out full teams under the likes of Mourinho and Solskjaer and that. But he has actually given a number of fringe players game time. We've played more games this time than I think we have on some of the previous ones, which has helped to give more maybe younger players or the fringe players game time, which has probably helped. And Pellestri's nicked a late equaliser. They did go down to 10 men on 67 minutes, so you know, it is what it is for Manchester United. We made a few substitutions in that second half. There was a few players who've been given an opportunity. Dan Gore given an opportunity, was fairly solid today. Can he break his way into the first team? I'm not too sure, because he hasn't really had a number of games on this pre-season tour, so it would be difficult for him. I mean, I think if it was Kobe Mainoo, then that would be a different kettle of fish. I think he's probably done more on this tour in order to get himself in and amongst the first team. It's just his injury has come at a bad time, but there was no Brandon Williams, so that does look like he could potentially be leaving Manchester United, and Charlie McNeil as well. He's leaving Manchester United, I think, on loan. We did bring the likes of Hugo on in the second half, but I gather he will probably go out on loan, so I'll be interested to see what happens with a number of these fringe players, if some of them stick around. I know that the big talking point on social media is obviously of the Harry Maguire incident. Harry Maguire was massively at fault for the opening goal of the game, but I mean, every time Harry Maguire seems to play, he makes a mistake. I think it is best for Harry Maguire and for Manchester United if he just moves on. If he moves on to a West Ham, an Everton type team, a mid-table, Crystal Palace, someone around that's going to be probably hanging around the mid-table positions, where he's probably not going to come under the pressure that he's coming on at this moment in time, the scrutiny every time he makes a fuck up, and I think he can just go out there and play his game, and he probably won't make as many mistakes there as he has done at Manchester United. The pressure is probably getting to him, but it is best for all parties if he just leaves. It really is. I know he wants to stay at Manchester United, but what is the point in sticking around? I think he's about 30 years of age, just to sit on the bench and then to come into a game and perform like that. I mean, I don't really see what the point in booing him is, because he's not doing it on purpose. It's just not worked at Manchester United. He's not up to the level that Manchester United need to move forward, and we've just got to cut our losses. If it's 20 million, then just get shot at the geezer. He can move on. Yes, we paid 80 fucking million for him, but he wasn't worth 80 million. But at the time, Man City were interested in him, and he was doing well at Leicester, and it hasn't worked out. It just hasn't worked out at Manchester United, and we just got to move on from this. But that is the main talking point from this game. Obviously everyone's going to be talking about that, but we've drawn the game 1-1. I don't know if there's going to be any behind closed doors games. I would expect there probably will be during the week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, just before the Wolves game, just to get a few players that haven't had minutes, maybe some minutes against a local team, a Wigan or someone like that, of that ilk, someone in the area, just to maybe an Everton or someone in the local area, just to get Manchester United some minutes in some of these players' legs, because some of them still probably haven't had enough minutes, and they might all get sort of 45 minutes. Some first team as well may as well. So it'll just keep players ticking over for that game against Wolves in the opening day of the season. But whether we're prepared for the start of the season, I don't know. Whether that starting up yesterday is good enough, we'll have to wait and see. But the season is upon us. We've got to get excited. We've got to be positive, because what's the fucking point in going to the season if we think Manchester United are just going to fail at everything? We've got to stay positive. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Bring on the start of the season. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See you.